Welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking something absolutely fascinating, the science behind NAD+ therapy for aging and cellular repair. We are talking about how biohackers are literally trying to turn back the biological clock. It's wild stuff, and it's completely changing how we view human optimization and longevity. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's kick things off with a massive paradigm shift. I want you to think about this. What if getting older isn't just an unavoidable fact of life? What if it's actually a cellular condition that we can treat? For decades, we've kind of just accepted that our bodies eventually wear out, right? But modern science is saying, hey, wait a minute, let's completely rethink that assumption.
And this isn't just fringe science anymore. In 2018, the World Health Organization made a huge move. They basically described aging as a cascade of robustness breakdown, triggered by a drop in systemic NAD+ production, which then leads to defects in our organs. Basically, they added aging to their classification of diseases. That is a total game changer. By classifying aging as a disease, it suddenly opens the floodgates for new therapies to target that exact cellular breakdown. So, to understand how we can actually optimize our bodies, here's our game plan for today. We'll look at whether aging is a disease, break down the cellular breakdown, dive into the science of NAD+, explore how to boost those levels, and wrap up with the whole biohacking approach.
Section 1. Is aging a disease? Rethinking the aging process.
You see, the core philosophy of modern longevity medicine is a radical shift from the norm. Traditionally, healthcare is super reactive. You wait until something breaks, like you get a heart condition or diabetes, and then you try to fix it. But we're moving toward proactive, individualized prevention. Instead of sitting around waiting for the breakdown to happen, we step in early, right at the cellular level, to maintain that youth and vitality.
Section 2. The cellular breakdown. What happens inside our bodies as we age.
All right, let's zoom in microscopically. We need to talk about cell senescence. As your cells replicate over your lifetime, they have these protective caps on the ends of their chromosomes called telomeres. Think of them exactly like those little plastic tips on the ends of your shoelaces. As you get older, those tips wear down and shorten. Eventually, they get way too short, the cell just stops dividing, and it accumulates defects. That damaged cell right there is exactly what causes the visible signs of aging, muscle loss, and organs just not working like they used to.
The other half of the problem is all about energy. You probably remember from high school biology that mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cell, right? They're literally the microscopic power plants generating the energy you need to survive. But just like a real-world power plant, their efficiency drops as we age. When they start sputtering out, your brain, your organs, your muscles, they literally lose the energy required to repair themselves and function at their peak.
Section 3. The science of NAD+. The cellular fuel that keeps you young.
So, what exactly fuels those cellular power plants? That is where NAD+ comes in. It stands for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. It's a critical coenzyme found in literally every single cell of your body. Think of NAD+ as the ultimate spark plug for your mitochondria. It is absolutely crucial for hundreds of metabolic processes. It handles your cellular energy conversion and, amazingly, activates enzymes like sirtuins that actually repair your DNA. It is the literal fuel for keeping you young.
But here's the catch, and honestly, this number is staggering. By the time you hit middle age, your natural NAD+ levels have plummeted by 50% compared to when you were young. Half! Just gone. Your body still makes it, sure, but the enzyme production drops off a cliff. And that massive 50% drop is exactly why we start feeling that systemic breakdown, the fatigue, the brain fog, the slower recovery times. The good news? Fixing that deficiency yields incredible whole-body benefits. Studies show that jacking those NAD+ levels back up does wonders for survival and repair. We're talking increased insulin sensitivity, actually reversing that mitochondrial dysfunction we just talked about, and potentially extending lifespan. It improves eye function, suppresses that stubborn middle-aged weight gain, and for the brain, it slows cognitive decline and protects your neurons. It even tackles inflammaging, that chronic age-related inflammation that causes so much trouble down the line.
Section 4. Boosting your NAD+ levels. How to restore your cellular energy.
Okay, so your body builds NAD+ using specific precursors, which are basically the raw building blocks. Things like vitamin B3, also known as niacin, plus NR and NMN. Now, you can get trace amounts of these naturally from a highly optimized diet.
Foods like avocados, broccoli, cabbage, edamame, they all have some NMN. But let's be real, simply eating a mountain of avocados usually isn't enough to correct a massive 50% cellular deficit. That's why clinical biohacking interventions exist in the first place.
If you're going the clinical route, you basically have two main options to boost your levels. Option 1 is IV NAD+ therapy. This is pure, actual NAD+ going directly into your bloodstream, completely bypassing your digestive system. It takes about 90 to 120 minutes per drip, but man, it is incredibly powerful, especially for clearing brain fog and boosting your immune health. Option 2 is oral NMN supplements. Instead of pure NAD+, this is a daily powder packed with those precursor building blocks, NMN, D-ribose, and nicotinamide, so your body can efficiently manufacture its own. It's fantastic for daily energy, fixing sleep cycles, and reducing systemic inflammation. Section 5. The biohacking approach. Putting the science into action.
Now, true biohacking isn't just randomly guessing and hoping for the best. It's heavily reliant on data. A proper 2-month NAD+ program follows a really strict scientific method. Step 1, always get a baseline with an intracellular blood test to see exactly where your cellular levels are right now. Step 2, you attack the deficiency hard with an IV loading dose, usually 3 weekly sessions to really flood the system, plus a final infusion later. Step 3 is locking in those gains with daily oral NMN. And step 4, which is absolutely crucial, you retest at 8 weeks to prove the protocol actually worked and tweak the plan if needed. But to genuinely optimize your health span, you've got to look at the whole picture. Comprehensive programs combine NAD+ therapies with a massive deep dive into your biomarkers. I'm talking checking your actual biologic age by measuring those telomeres we talked about. Doing a cell-free DNA screening to make absolutely sure there are no microscopic cancer signals before you start promoting cellular growth. They check 31 different micronutrients, your hormones, your thyroid, and look at advanced cardiac risks way beyond just basic cholesterol. It's about combining deep data with these targeted therapies to optimize literally every system in your body concurrently. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to ponder. We all know our chronological age, right? The number of candles on the birthday cake. But now that we understand the deep cellular mechanics behind aging, the telomere shortening, the NAD+ depletion, the whole shebang, do you actually know how old your cells truly are? Is your biologic age younger or older than your birth age? Thanks to modern science, that is no longer a mystery. It's a measurable and maybe even treatable metric. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep optimizing, and I'll see you next time.